Anyway, welcome back to the Power Hour. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be talking to Bob Chapman today about the status of this country and do we have any money left? Bob Chapman, who is the writer of the newsletter, The International Forecaster, which you can get a gratuitous copy. That means the first one is free, complimentary copy, by calling 877-479-8178 or go to theinternationalforecaster.com. Thank you, Bob Chapman, for joining us again today.
I am just charmed to be here, and I heard those questions, and I got to agree with you. I couldn't answer any of them quickly either.
Isn't that incredible?
And lithography is a form of writing, and is that the word you use, lithography?
Orthography, O-R-T-H-O-G.
Oh, I don't know what that one is.
Well, let me just give you the first question. What is meant by the following? Alphabet, phonetic orthography, etymology, or syllabication? What are the elementary sounds and how are they classified? What are the following? Give examples of each. A trigraph, subvocal, diphthong, cognate letter, or lingual. Give four substitutes.
Well, the first one would be the sounding of a wild beast, like
maybe, maybe not. Give four substitutes for the caret U, C-A-R-E-T. I mean, this is incredible. Eighth graders, they had to be so smart. Anyway, this is amazing. I bet the people at Goldman Sachs couldn't even do all this with the monetary part of it. Anyway,
where did those come from?
It came from Salina, Kansas, 8th grade final exam. To go into the ninth grade.
It's interesting. We used to sell a lot of goodness, the name escaped me. I was just thinking of it earlier. It'll come back to me, but the McGuffey readers.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard about that?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we used to sell a lot of those because the things that are in there about learning are not taught today. Just like in the Salinas
Salina, Kansas. I can tell you're not from
Salina, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, we're in a world of hurt in this country, and it's not getting any better. I want to talk about Greece. You know, PIGS, the acronym now, PIGS, Portugal, Ireland, Greece, and Spain. Now they're calling it the PIGS countries. What's going on? Why the problems in Greece right now?
Well, first of all, you left out Italia. There's two pigs in there. That's I.
P-I-I-G-S, okay?
Yeah. But anyway, first of all, when the Eurozone was started, they all fudged their figures. Italy and Greece the worst. And Ireland came along later, and so at least they had an excuse, and I think they were fairly upfront. But one interest rate for all the 16 members, I wrote in 1992, would not work. And this is really the crux of the problem, because it allowed nations like the ones mentioned, particularly Ireland and Spain, to build like crazy, like they did in the United States. And so that caused their problems. Greece, like the United States, and they're very similar in their corruption. It is unbelievable. I mean, it makes Latin American nations today look like saints because the corruption in Washington and Greece is far, far worse.
Mm-hmm.
And they've known about this Greece thing for a long time, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And they knew, as I said, they fudged the figures going in. I think this is a precursor, this exposure of Greece, to a long string of sovereign debt problems, which will, quote, be solved a year and a half, or 2 from now, and that will be done by having another meeting like the Smithsonian in the 70s, Plaza Accord of 85, the Louvre Accord of 87, where they got together, the nations, and they revalued and they devalued. Only this time they're going to revalue, devalue, and default. And then many nations will have internal official devaluations of their currency. So what I envision at this kind of a meeting, which is coming, because this is what this is going to lead to. First it's Greece, then it's Portugal, then it's Ireland and Spain, then it's Italy, and then Denmark and Poland, and on and on and on. And so here we're all standing with our hands out saying, gee, what are we going to do? This is a build-up to an international realignment of currencies. And what I see in the future is that after they get finished revaluing and devaluing the currencies, and they go to what I think will be a 2/3 reduction in debt between nations, if they're going to come up with another economic currency to be used in trade, they will have to back it with gold. And the currency values will be fixed.
Now, when do you think this meeting is going to be held, that they're going to consider devaluing the currency?
Between a year and two from now. And all of the things that you're seeing now is a build-up to it, and all of the things you see in Washington and London and Paris and in Frankfurt, and et cetera, all of these things are being moved toward that goal. In the meantime, they have no intention of reducing the amount of money and credit generally in the system. And the reason why is that the system will collapse earlier than they would like it to. And so they don't want that to happen. If you can understand this, the basis to all this is the collapse of the world monetary and financial and economic system, so that these people behind the scenes in the Illuminati can give us a new one world government.
Well, you know, we just covered the story about how the FDIC is also out of money, and I get this screaming email from Billy Joe Malden. I mean, you know what a screaming email is. And he says, no agency that has a comprehensive annual financial report is without or even short of funds right now. They are lying about not having money. The FDIC is a total fraud. They do not have any insurable interest because FDIC or Federal Reserve notes have no value. Now, is it true that this screaming that we are out of money, we're in debt, we're over our heads, things are going under, is it true? I mean, you know,
of course it's true. Of course it's true. They have $93 billion, $45 billion of which they just received about 2 weeks ago from, maybe it was a month ago, from banks that pay into that system. Now, the reason they got the $45 billion is that the banks paid 3 years dues ahead of time. Okay, so they're not going to have any more income.
That had to be a huge
amount of money. And so when the $93 billion is gone, what they do is they have a line of credit of $500 billion with the federal government if the government chooses to allow them to use that. And if they do, then it'll be $593 billion. And then the answer is, what can they do with that? Well, there are 2,055 banks in extreme trouble. If 1,000 go under, it'll cost $500 billion. So let's say that 1,100 of the 2,000 go under in the next year and a half. Not only will they be out of money, can't get any more money unless the banks want to donate it, unless the federal government gives them to them. And the federal government's not going to do that because they have to pay for their wars to go on.
That's right. Now,
and so the money isn't there. In fact, I got an article this morning out of Colorado in relation to a high school in Utah that is there's a piece of legislation locally in the state in order to cover the shortfall in education. They want to do away with the 12th grade. I mean, this is the thinking. It's okay to have a war and spend $1 trillion on a phony war in Iraq. But it's not okay to have the funds that education needs. I mean, we're in Afghanistan. The major reason, and there are others, but the major reason is $300 billion a year in heroin. which is being run by MI6 and CIA. And anybody who doesn't see that is dumber than a stone. But getting back to the FDIC, that's the status. And I've heard this canard over and over again, that there's money here, money there. Everybody got plenty of money. I've looked into it, and so hasn't Dr. Stan Monteith, and I can't find anything.